I'm going to tell you something right now, folks. If you don't, if you're not thinking about Christ, if you're not thinking about how you can further His kingdom, if you're not thinking about how you can better change people's lives, then I'm going to tell you something. You're living in a camouflage state. You're covered up, folks. Jesus don't expect us to be like that. I'm going to tell you something. Right now, folks, we're to be different. And when you talk about camouflage Christians, and this is one of the things that just really bothers me, is they're camouflaged in the way that they talk. Let me tell you something, people profess to be Christians, and they get together with their friends and their buddies, and you cannot tell that they've ever been saved by the grace of God because of the way that they talk. Let me tell you something. Again, Jesus has asked us to be different. And that means that when we're out here in public and we're around other people, our talk should be different. That means that you shouldn't be engaging in this vulgar talk. You shouldn't be engaging in these filthy jokes that people's telling. You're to be different. You're to stay away from that stuff. Because this is the deal, folks. If you're camouflaged in that, people can't tell that Jesus is in you. And folks, I'm going to tell you something. We're missing the mark. We're missing the mark because we're camouflaged. We're missing the mark because we're not sharing our life story with the people out in the world. People should be able to look at us and see Jesus. They should. I'm going to tell you something. A lot of times, you don't even have to say anything. They can go by the way you walk, by the way you talk, by the way you handle yourself, by the way you present yourself, by the way that you are in mixed company. People should be able to tell that there's a difference in you. Right. And we as Christians should want people to know that there's a change in us. Yeah. We go on and we see here that they engage in what the world has to offer. And I mentioned that a minute ago. Folks, I'm going to tell you something. When you think about this and you think about being camouflaged in sin and camouflaged Christians, folks, when you go outside the doors of the church, your mindset shouldn't change. I'm telling you right now, a lot of times we go out and we walk every day throughout the week, and people cannot tell that you're a Christian. And you think about that. Folks, I'm going to tell you something. When God saved you, you had something to be excited about. When God saved you, He had something, He gave you something to be excited about. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know about you, but I cannot camouflage what God did for me. I cannot camouflage the fact that Jesus shed His blood on Calvary for me. That gives me a reason to be different. That gives me a reason to be excited. That gives me a reason to want to stand out. Listen, folks, we as Christians should want to stand out and show people and tell people that there's something better in life. There's something better in life than what we're going through. There's something better in life. Let me tell you, get a hold of Jesus and He'll change you. That's the way it should be, folks. That's exactly the way Jesus wants us to be. He don't want us to be. How in the world, oh mercy, how in the world, folks, should you or could you camouflage what Jesus has done for you? I'm not telling that you got to walk around in a Christian state of trance all the time. But what I am telling you is when you walk on the scene, that people ought to be able to tell that Jesus lives within you. That's right. Let me tell you something. You shouldn't have to tell them. They should see it. And, whoa! Praise the Lamb of God! You should want to tell them about it. You should want to show them that there's something different about you. Amen? And that's the way Jesus wants us to be. You want your church house full? You stand out for Jesus. And let me tell you something. You strip off the camouflage and you allow people to see what Jesus has done for you. And I'm going to tell you, you'll begin to get through to people. You'll begin to show people what Jesus can do, how Jesus can change lives. And when you do that, then your seats will start to be full. I'm going to tell you something right now. You step out for Jesus. You stand up for Jesus. Don't be ashamed of Jesus, and Jesus will do things for you. And let me tell you something. We talk about this revival, and I'm going to get off subject a little bit. I've been known to do that. Okay. We're talking about this revival. You want good things to happen here? Then you begin to pray and ask God to change you. You want good things to happen in this community? You get down on your knees and you say, Lord, this has to start with me. I've got to be cleaned up. I've got to be changed. Remove the when it starts here, then you begin to see good things happen.
Man.
I'm going to tell you something right now, folks. You can pray, and I truly believe this. You can pray for revival till you're blue in the face. But unless you're willing to change yourself, it won't do a bit of good. It won't do a bit of good. Brother Matt talks about all the time about being one mind and one accord. Oh, mercy. You think about this. You think about everybody that's in this building right now. If everybody in this building right now has one mind and one accord, all right, not just in here. I'm going to tell you something. I'll get on that in a minute. But not just in here, but when we go outside these walls, when we go outside this community, if we're all got one mind and one accord, and we want good things to happen in the church, not just this church, but all churches, all right? That's the key. All churches, all right? Again, it's not about us or about them or about whoever. It's about Jesus, all right? So when we do that, and we begin to go out here, and we begin, like the Bible said, let your light shine before men. Let me tell you, you cannot do that if it's coming up. Remove it. You go out here, and you're in town, and you're going about your business, and people begin to